Hi, great people. Thank you. Thank you again for coming. And it is that time when we talk about finances. And thank you so much for always coming. This is Smart Bosco. And we decided to talk about finances so that we can be able to learn together, so that we can also be able to grow together and grow in our financial status. Now, today I want to talk about the aspect of the beginners. You are there and you are saying, I want to learn more about money. I want to learn the basic things about money. I want to know how I can be able to take care of my money. And there's some basic things that I have learned and I want to share with us, which can be of great blessing and they can be able to help you. They can be great foundations just for you to help you. And the first thing I want to share about is budgeting. Budgeting is so much important. When you have some money, if you don't budget for that money, most likely you'll find you've spent that amount of money and you have no idea where that money has gone. And so when you talk about budgeting helps you so that you can be able to know exactly where does the money go, where has that money gone. And so budgeting is a good process, that is a good practice that you can be able to adapt, and this is going to give you a very nice base for your money. Now, money is not just to be stored, money is to be spent. But when you talk about spending the money, it's not just spending the money in anything. You need to have a budget. That's very much important. When you get your salary, it's very much important for you to have a budget so that you can get to know, where is my money going. You need to make sure that that $1, $2, $20 goes to the right project. And then the project which is not able to be served now can be able to wait. And so budgeting is so much important. So it's good for you to have a budget. Why? Because when you have a budget, you get an opportunity to track your income and expenses. Yes, you get to see how much money is coming in. For example, if you're in a business, you're able to know how much money came in, and also you're able to track expenses. And especially on the side of expenses, very much important. Sometimes you find you have money and you have no idea what happened to that money because you never tracked the expenses. It's very important for you to budget, because when you budget, you're able to track your income and expenses, and you get to understand where your money is going. That is very much important, because there are some of us, we have money, but we cannot explain exactly where did the money go. We have no idea where the money go, but we know we spend the money. And so one of the bases that you can have for you to have a very good foundation as far as money is concerned is for you to have a budget, because the budget will help you to get to know the income and get to know the expenses. You're able to know where did your money go. Budget is very much important. I know it's an exercise that sometimes we ignore, but it is a practice that when you begin practicing it, this is going to change the way you handle your money, the way you use your money, and you're able to explain clearly how you're spending the money. Now, the other very important point when it comes to money, and for you to be able to, for any beginner who is thinking about taking care of his money, growing your money, the second thing that you need to think about is basically saving. Saving is very much important. Any money that you get, it's good for you to have a practice of saving. And guys, as I'm sharing with you this, I'm not just sharing with you because for the sake of sharing. I'm sharing with you because one of the purposes I began this channel is because I realized that I have been shying away from discussing about money. My attitude towards money, it was not really good. And that's why if you check my first video, I said you need to have a relationship with money, because when you have a relationship with money, you get to know what the money is expecting. Someone said actually money is currency, it is flowing. And so if you don't understand about money, it becomes very hard for you to be able to use the money. And so saving is very much important. When we talk about saving, is basically you set aside a portion for short term and long term. You can be able to set aside and say, this money is for a particular thing, this money is for a particular thing. So it's very much important for you to have that tradition or that practice of saving money. It's very much important. Is it easy? It is not easy, but you can always decide and say, I am going to be setting part of my income, whether from my salary, whether from my business. You save a portion of it. It is a practice, and you don't need to say, because many of us, we don't save because we say we don't have a lot of money. If you cannot save that $1, If you cannot save that's $2. Even when you get $1,000, you're not going to save anything. So begin from the lowest amount you can. It is a practice that you practice, and then with time you find you're really making some very good progress. So saving is very, very much important. It's something that you just need to practice, and then you keep on doing it, and you'll see yourself succeeding. So the next point is related to saving. It's also good for you to begin investing. Investing is very much important. And when you talk about investing, we're basically saying that you investing or grow your wealth over time through smart investment. When you invest, you position yourself for an opportunity to be able to grow your wealth. Wealth is not grown overnight. Some of the wealthy people that we know, or you know, they have grown their wealth not overnight. It is a process. They have untold story about how they grew their wealth. And so for you and me, for us to be able to grow our wealth, one of the most important things that we need to do is to begin investing. You can be able to begin investing in different areas. You can decide to invest in land. You can decide to invest in real estate. Whatever choice you make. But again, like I've said, even in matters of saving, you don't have to have a lot of money for you to begin investing. You just need to begin slowly by slowly. So you grow your wealth over time through smart investment. And there are many ways you can be able to invest smartly. In my other coming videos, I'll be able to talk with us some of the areas where you can be able to invest your money. You can invest your money in shares and many other areas. So investing is very much important. For any beginner who is saying, I want to learn more about money, I want to grow my wealth, you need to learn to invest. The other point which is very much important is debt management. Many of us are really languishing in debts. And that is one of the areas that I want to focus mostly, even as I do these videos. Because debts has really killed many people. Debts can be a big challenge. And so for you to be able to know or to be able to succeed in terms of money, one of the key things that you need to learn to do is basically debts management. And it's good for you to understand good debts and bad debts. Now, we cannot avoid debts. We cannot avoid borrowing money. But you need to understand that whenever you borrow money, you need to borrow money for a good cause. Or you need to borrow money that you're very sure that you can be able to return that money. You can repay that money. You borrow that money so that you can invest in something that is going to give you more money to repay that amount of money. You invest in something that is going to help you so that you can be able to grow your wealth. So understand bad debts and good debts. There are some of us who are really languishing in bad debts. So let's learn about it. It's good for you to learn about it, and again I will be able to speak more about it. So debt management is very much important for you who is saying, I'm actually a beginner and I want to learn more about money. Understand good debt and bad debt and how to manage such wisely. There are people who have succeeded through good debt. They borrow money and they're able to use that debt to generate more money. There are others who are really in a big mess because they took money, they never managed that money very well. So that is something that you need to learn about, and again we will be talking more about it. And lastly but not least, it's good for you to have financial goals. Financial goals are very much important. You know, we are used to having goals about our marriages, goals about our studies, goals about many other things. Just mention them. When was the last time you set goals that are money related? It's very much important for you to do that, to do so. Set financial goals. What do you want to achieve with the money that you have? What do you want to avoid? What do you want to achieve, whether it's a short term or a long term? So financial goals are very important. So ensure that you set clear objectives, like buying a house or retiring comfortably. You can be able to set up a very good goal saying, I want at a particular time, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a retiring home, So set those goals, and when you set those goals, work to achieve them. So my friends, if you are there and you are just a beginner and you are saying, I want to know more about money, where do I begin? You can begin by applying those few principles, which is budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, and having financial goals. Through that, you'll be able to see very, very good progress. I'm just wishing you all the best. Let us engage in my next video as we discuss openly about money, because money matters. It's good for you to have a relationship with money so that the money can work for you. See you guys. This is Matt Bosco. Remember to subscribe, share, write in the comment section what would you want me to talk about when it comes to money. See you in my next one.